global authority on consumer relations says that companies that want to be more competitive have to be more trustworthy. A founding partner of Peppers and Rogers Group, Don Peppers, says rising interconnectedness is leading to more transparency and exposing the unethical behavior of companies. Well, among various accolades, the Times of London has listed Don Peppers among its top 50 business brains. Well, he addressed a forum at the Gordon Institute of Business Science on extreme trust earlier today, and Don Peppers joins us in studio now. Great to have you with us.
Thank you,
Don.
Francis. Happy to be here.
Tell me about this transparent future.
Well, increasing levels of transparency is increasing because we interact more, and we interact because there's technology driving that. You know, computers get 1,000 times more powerful every 20 years. That means you exchange about 1,000 times as much information with other people every 20 years. Just think of life 20 years ago before cell phones, Facebook, status updates, texting messages, Twitter. You know, when fax machines had thermal paper, you communicate 1,000 times more with others today, and your children will communicate 1,000 times more with their friends in 20 years from now.
Aren't we already there? I mean, we have this site, Hello Peter, where you can go and sort of tell on companies that treat you badly.
Yeah.
TripAdvisor, for example, consumers are talking about the experiences that they are having. Is that what you're talking about?
That's right. And research shows that consumers trust their friends. 83% of consumers trust their friends' recommendations. A little over half trust the recommendations of complete strangers whose reviews they read online. Only about 13–14% of consumers generally trust advertising. And the reason for that is not because advertising lies to them, but it's inherently self-interested. A business has to pay for advertising. And we don't fault the business for doing that, but we know why they do it. They do it because they want your money. Why does your friend give you a recommendation? He doesn't want any money. He has no other agenda, you see. So that's why it's more trustable. And in an increasingly social world, businesses are going to have to participate in this.
I like what you say about phone companies. You have all these packages if you're with a mobile operator, and you're saying they should actually phone you and tell you which is the best for you if you're not on the best one for you, that sort of thing that cuts across companies.
Yeah, well, the vast majority of mobile phone companies don't do that. We're coaching some of our clients to do that now, and we're getting some good response. But fundamentally, if you're on the wrong calling plan, typically, the phone company thinks, well, that's your problem. That's not my problem. I'm not your accountant, and it's my good fortune that you're paying me more money than you need to. But in the future, customers will hold companies accountable for that, and they'll require an extreme trust. They'll require proactive trustworthiness. Okay?
Give me some practical ideas for companies to start building towards that.
Let me give you an example of what it is. If you order a book from Amazon that you already own, they will warn you that you already bought this book from Amazon. Are you sure you want to buy it again? That's an example of proactive trustworthiness. No one would fault Amazon if they simply sold you a book that you ordered by mistake. It's your mistake, and they're not cheating you. But increasingly, iTunes does the same thing if you try to buy that a song that you already own. A business company today that wants to be more trustable has to focus on building better relationships with customers, has to focus on their employee culture, has to represent itself as a human being, be unafraid to apologize, ask forgiveness when you make a mistake.
Well, that's an interesting question. What if you've lost trust? Look at Sony that allowed hackers to compromise the accounts of up to 1 million people. What do you do then?
Well, there are two components of trustworthiness. How do I see your intent? Are your intentions good? And are you competent? When you lose information to hacking, that's a competence issue. Consumers do lose trust as they think you're not competent, but they're quick to forgive incompetence. If Sony were to lie about that, or deny it, or try to fend off and clam up, then that would be a less forgivable offense, because that goes to their intent.
So be open.
Be open, be honest, and even in a litigious society, there's good research that shows, for instance, in the United States, where medical malpractice is it's a cottage industry for lawyers. Research shows that the single biggest corollary behind a doctor not getting sued isn't the competence of his practice, it's the competence of his bedside manner. People don't sue their friends. They don't sue people who they have empathy for. So as a company, you want to have empathy for your customers. You want to show that you're on their side, that you're going to protect their interests, and generally that empathy is returned. It's a human impulse.
All right, very interesting. Thank you so much for that insight. Acclaimed customer relations expert, Don Peppers.